Crime scenes are often the site of the most gruesome and chilling discoveries. From mysterious symbols scrawled in blood to inexplicable paranormal activity, the list of creepy and disturbing things found at crime scenes is endless. These discoveries have the power to shock and horrify even the most hardened law enforcement officers and forensic investigators. Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. Today we'll be looking at the top creepiest things found at crime scenes. Yeah, you heard it right. Bathroom hair. The hair in question was not from Ted Kaczynski, commonly known as the Unabomber, the criminal linked with this case. Kaczynski placed the hair he found in the toilet of a bus station into an explosive package in order to throw authorities off the trail in this case. Even though the hair did not belong to the Unabomber, using someone else's hair in this manner is not only disgusting but also disturbing. Never mind, you know the risk of having the federal government coming to your home believing you have some connection to such a dangerous lunatic. Message machete. After the forensic report of this crime scene was returned from the lab, there was no doubt about the intentions of Prince Hepburn. This is due to the fact that Hepburn left behind the murder weapon along with a pair of texts detailing both the real and planned victims. At the spot where Hepburn murdered his fiancée, a bloodied machete was discovered with the statement, "This is what cheats get," scribbled on the blade. The reverse side contained a message for the second possible victim. This sort of morbidity is typically reserved for horror films, but in this situation, the horror was really genuine. Tarot cards. In 2002, the Beltway snipers terrified the Washington, D.C. area by using long-range weapons to maximize the distance between themselves and their victims. John Allen Muhammad and Lee Boyd Malva used numerous calling cards throughout their terror rampage, but the shooting of Iran Brown on October 7th was a particularly frightening event. Malvo and Muhammad left the death tarot card with the inscriptions, "Do not release to the press. For you, Mr. Police, and call me God," at the crime scene. To say the least, it was eerie and very upsetting. A deadly plea. William Herron's court case was a shambles, comprising inconsistent prosecution, incompetent police conduct, and illegalities behind the scenes. Some believe that Herron's was not the infamous serial murderer who left a disturbing, moniker-defining statement at the crime scene. It was written on the victim's apartment wall. "For heaven's sake, catch me before I commit additional murders. I'm beyond my control." Herron's was finally condemned to life in jail for 3 separate murders, but he maintained until his death in prison that his confession was coerced. Legos. True crime stories can be unsettling, but the stakes become even more disturbing when children are involved in the tale. The murder of Lucille Johnson in 1991 was immediately noted for the abundance of Lego pieces found at the crime scene. In addition, DNA evidence gathered many years later led officials to suspect that Johnson's killer, John Sansing, had brought his son with him on the day of the murder. The resulting mental impression is that Sansing's youngster was playing innocently with Legos while his father committed a genuinely horrific act. The mind is baffled. Dead driver's license. After murdering his ex-girlfriend in 2014, David Kalick was so unrepentant that he exposed his gruesome work on the internet. The media dubbed it the 4chan murder because Kalick released photographs of the murder and words purportedly lamenting that it's much more difficult to strangle someone to death than it seems in the movies. Kalick also scribbled messages throughout the residence, including "bad news" on the curtains and "she killed me first" on a framed photograph. On his ex's driver's license, Kalick scribbled the word "dead" in a straightforward manner. A promise to return. Mary Bell, who currently lives under a pseudonym, has a terrible distinction of being Britain's youngest female serial killer. In 1968, when Bell strangled her first 2 victims, she was just 10 years old. According to all accounts, Bell's home life was filled with trauma and cruelty by her mother, and she exhibited troublesome and hazardous behavior for some time before killing Martin Brown, her first victim. In addition to harassing Brown's mother before her son's funeral, Bell and an accomplice left insulting messages for police at the neighboring nursery that they damaged. One of the messages stated, "I murder in order to return." Grisly devices. Dean Corll was a prominent serial killer who was also known as the Pied Piper and the Candyman. Corll's method was cruel, and he was supported in enticing, torturing, and killing his victims by 2 juvenile accomplices. These victims were frequently chained to a plywood board and damaged by Corll prior to their murders. This torture board was discovered at the place where the Candyman was murdered by one of the aforementioned accomplices, Elmer Wayne Henley. Ciphers. A cipher is a coded message that is intentionally disguised to transmit a secret message. Throughout the years, a number of serial killers have used ciphers to communicate, most notably the Zodiac. Ricky McCormick's case is another cipher-related mystery that remains unresolved. The message was discovered on McCormick's body on June 30th, 1999, after his bones were discovered in a Missouri cornfield. At the time of writing, the FBI is still aggressively seeking public aid in deciphering the cipher, as it is thought that the identity of McCormick's murderer is contained within the code. Ed Gein's house. You can take your pick from the contents of Ed Gein's home. It was a literal house of horrors. The horrifying nature of Gein's actions stunned the globe, and it served as the basis for a number of equally terrible horror films based on his life. Gein's home was filled with artifacts made from human remains, including, but not limited to, chairs and baskets upholstered in human skin, abandoned skulls, shredded faces, and even loose noses. It is an almost incomprehensible display of cruel wickedness from one of the most prominent instances in history. So that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so that you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section down below. Stay tuned, and we'll catch you in the next video.